Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Start with some Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable. This came from a computer cable. I already chopped it down. It should have these colors here. Now, keep in mind, just wanted to reiterate, Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable that I'm talking about, their wire, it needs to bend and stay. See how it's bending and staying? That means it's solid core wire on the inside, and that's what we're looking for. If it bends and flops back, that's not what we're looking for. It's probably stranded, but we do need to make it solid core wire that stays like that. Let's take our wire. We need to make 2 hands, so pick any color. Brown and green, that's what we're going with. Save these for later. Adjust the camera so you can see my handy tape ruler I made. We're going to be measuring out 7 inches, alright? So let's go ahead and take our wire and measure out 7 inches. See where I got that bend? As you can see, I already got it started on the blue. We're actually changing colors, alright? Because I made a little bit of a change up. Bend it in half. So we have 7 inches bent in half. Now we're going to look for this middle, right? Well, actually, I'm going to guess this is the middle right here. Take our handy needle nose pliers, crimp it in the middle. We'll go once, twice a lady. Before we do anything else, we're going to untwist these double wires. We're separating them because these little alienistic wires, we want to take these 2 right fingers and go down, under, and through the rabbit hole, and straight up, just like that. And we can actually stop right there. The reason why we want to untwist it and wrap it around is to add a little bit more security down in this little knot of knuckles right here. But we also wanted to untwist them so that we had a good finger spreading. So it should look like that, everybody. We've got a cluster of all these looking wiry looking, actually it looks like fish now. They are going to be hands. Let's go ahead and add a thumb, because right now they're getting the 4-finger discount. Alright, discount the thumb. So take one of our hands like this. Remember, we only had 2 set go under the rabbit hole. We didn't leave this one because we want this cluster of knots to be very minimal. I'm going to go ahead and grab this orange wire to the brown hand because we're going to be a little bit different today. Alright, and I'm unraveling it. I'm going to go ahead and choose the orange wire to be the thumb. We're going to have the thumb go down the rabbit hole, and it's going to be grossly longer than the rest, because why not? Differentiate this from the rest. And now, loop it over and go right back through the rabbit hole again. So it should be looking like this, right? Now this wire here, we're going to actually bring it up and loop it through the pinky. Yes, this is the pinky, right? We're going to bring it back down through the rabbit hole and back out just like this. And back up through this loop right here, going this way. We can take our needle nose pliers and just pull that on through. And let's bring this pinky back up. Let's go ahead and pull this on through. Let's kind of tighten it on both ends here. Let's go ahead and take this end and tighten it up as well. And now he's got 6 fingers and we don't want that. Let's go ahead and cut this one off. Boom. And now he's got 5 fingers. The thumb, index, middle finger, I know it looks gross, ring, and pinky. But we don't have a huge cluster down here, and that's exactly what we want. Let's show you another one. In fact, I'm going to show you the orange. I'm going to take the other wire, and I'm going to do the same thing. And this one can be the opposite hand, because it doesn't matter, because you can just flip it over. Just like this. These knots, whichever way they're going, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fish this down the rabbit hole. I'm going to wrap it up over itself and through the rabbit hole upward towards the sky. We're going to go ahead and pinch that close. This is the pinky. We're going to go up through the pinky. Down through the rabbit hole like this. And through the pinky loop underneath here. Like that. Take our needle nose pliers because it'll be a lot easier, and then just pull that on through. And of course we got the thumb on this side. We're going to pull this on through, and we're just going to keep pulling it until it's all nice and taut. Nice, taut, and tight. Same thing on this side. And we're going to go ahead and clip this extra finger off. You can actually make this a thumb if you want. But because it's actually double looped over the pinky, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. This is actually the one right here that we're clipping off. And now we've got a left and a right. It doesn't really matter because we just have 5 fingers. You could just interchange them. So go ahead and grab the cluster of wires right here. Crimp this closed. Just tighten it as much as you want, but leaving a little bit of an eye loop. Again, we'll do this side, pulling everything nice and taut, making sure all the fingers are all separated and nice and even. Taking the cluster, and we're going to just grip it closed. Keep a little bit of an eye loop. That's going to be important. But now we've got hands, everybody. They will become hands. Alright, let's move on. Trace the hand. You should have this blobby looking, funky looking piece in your PDF downloads. Take a better look at it. Grab a piece of 3 by 3 inch piece of grocery bag paper stock. Fold it in half. See the CF? I'm sure you might be able to see that. Go ahead and line the CF right against the center fold. As always, you should know this by now, but if not, CF means center fold. We are putting it up against the center fold. Just going to go ahead and follow all these lines out, right? So it should look like that. Alright, let's cut it out real quick. Keep in mind every nook, every cranny, every corner serves a purpose, especially on this little doodad of a design. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. This right here is going to be cut out. This is a no cut for marker right here. And I'm going to just write that really small down here. Because these markers right here, okay, this is a marker, that's a marker, and this is a no cut for marker. We need to concentrate on marking it up on the inside. Let me go ahead and just repeat what's happening here so we can just understand. Okay, so see these markers here? So from this marker to that marker and this marker to that marker, that's going to be the palm of the hand. That's what we're going to be following, especially with all the graphics that are on the inside here. Hopefully we can see these 2 little boxes here. You know what, for the sake of the video, I'm going to color it up for you here. I'm going to put green around here. Oh man, this is dying. You can see this green, can't you? So we did this fold cut, 2 for the price of 1. We're going to cut it right down the middle like this. And we're going to concentrate on this side, the inside right here. But first, we need to actually put some fingers onto these wire fingers, okay? So let's go ahead and do that next. Let's go ahead and bring our jig in here, our finger jig. I'm sure you've seen this one, this fun little electronics helping hands that I've actually used to assist with the painting, but we're going to actually focus on this here. And this is laminate flooring, if you can recognize it, left over from a cat project that I'm using as a finger jig. And what I mean by that is this little slit right here, right in here, that we use for the fingers. Okay, now if you don't have this or don't want to buy a full pack of this laminate, or don't have any laying around, you can actually make one yourself out of 2 blocks of wood. This is, I think, 3/4 by 3/4 wood. You can actually buy from Home Depot as well. I have a video where you can actually make this using pennies as spacers. So you have options here, but I'm going to use mine since I like mine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy 2 by 2.5 inch piece of grocery bag paper stock, all cut from a little bit of a design right there. All cut from a grocery bag. Let's go ahead and start with any finger, doesn't matter. I guess we'll go ahead and start with a thumb. This is the thumb, the one that we actually wrapped around. If you made something like this, grab some screws and block wood and thermal mold to help assist with keeping it nice and solid. If you made a jig like this, go ahead and lay it flat on top of where the crack is. If not, and if you're using a jig like this, just lay it right on top where you can actually see the crack kind of right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this on the jig, and I'm going to take my handy dandy screwdriver, and it's got to be a Phillips head. Grab this tiny little tang right here. This part right here, we're going to take advantage of this little part right there. That's going to go right inside the groove, just like this. Can you see that? We're going to take our grocery bag paper stock and get that started, right? We're going to use our fingers to just hold this on the side. Just put that little, I'm not even sure what it's called, of the screwdriver. I might even Google it, but we're going to go ahead and put that right in the groove, and we're going to press it down, making sure we don't go too fast. We're just kind of wobbling it back and forth, just rocking it back and forth, making sure that we actually make a little bit of a pit, a groove, or a little bit of a canyon inside. Okay, if we turn it over, it kind of looks like that. Take our wire finger and we're going to put it right there inside this groove. using our fingernail from our index finger to hold that down. Maybe if we want to actually rock it back and forth to get that finger on in there. We're going to keep our index finger here, take our trusty little glue gun, and using the nozzle, put it right down on top of the wire and let it go right in the grooves, right? We're not going to trigger pump too much glue in there. Just enough to get right inside the groove. Another way to help you fold this over without actually removing it from this crevice here is keep the glue gun nozzle right at the very end and just start to fold it right at this end here. Remove the nozzle gun. It helps you fold over the remaining part of the finger. Fold it on over like that. That's all we did. We're going to take the little cross point of the screwdriver and just rock it back and forth inside while it's actually drying. Really get the glue right inside the wires so that when we pull it out we got something clean that looks like that. Take our handy dandy scissors and cut as clean as possible right along the edge here of our finger. Right? We're cutting right along the edge, and so now it looks like this. Go and inspect this to see if it actually sealed up on the other side, and it did. Now we can cut a little bit off if we want to, but we're going to actually shave these fingers down later on. But it's best that we leave it long for now so that we can actually have too much rather than too little. Take the same piece of paper, we can actually cut this off and start a fresh one, okay? We can put this aside, do the exact same thing, just putting right on top of this jig and using a finger, doesn't matter, or thumb, index, whatever you want to use. Just get it to stay without shifting. Take the groove of our cross point, Phillips head, push right down inside, and just rock it back and forth, making a little bit of a groove all the way from front to back. And if it looks like that on the other side, we turn it over, we're in good shape. Let's continue. Taking our other finger, making sure that this is all the way to the edge here. And don't worry about like all this closer inner stuff here. That's going to actually be covered up with the hand cover. And then we're going to go ahead and just take our fingernails. Fingernails always work great as well. Push on down there. We can even use our screwdriver again and just make sure it's solid in there. Take the glue gun and with the nozzle, just right on top of the wire, just feel the wire out, just going back and forth. It's not even like a full trigger pump, not even a half trigger pump. Getting right inside that groove. Now we're going to go ahead and fold this right on over like that, keeping the wire within this groove right here and using our screwdriver, getting that glue right in every nook and cranny of the finger. Before we actually pull it up, we can turn it over and that looks like a solid finger. Okay, if we want, we can chop this much off to get us started right here. That's just up to you, just whatever works, and just cut that off. And we're going to cut right down this finger, making sure we go as flush as possible against the wire and the paper stock. And turn it over and examine this, make sure that there's no split ends. And if it is split open down here, you can actually put it right back in here in the jig and add a little bit more glue. But I'm not going to worry about that right there. This right here too much, because this is actually going to be inside the palm cover. All of this up here is what we kind of want to make sure that we have a nice good seal. Can put more glue in here if you want, it's totally optional. So let's continue on. Keep the graphics facing the camera or towards the sky, because that's what's going to go on the inside of the finger, not the outside. We want this all to be the outside skin of the fingers. So let's go ahead and keep going. Rock this and do the same thing. We're going back and forth, just kind of wobbling it back and forth. Putting a finger inside the paper hole, putting that finger in that side of the hole. It's a family show. Okay, and just keeping our index finger there so this stays in place. If this pops up, that's alright. It's just gonna naturally pop up. It's a wire. I mean, but just make sure you get the glue on every part of the wire. Okay, so if it does pop up at the end, that's okay. Just fold it over like this and it'll pop back down. That's the reason why we kind of use our fingers to pop that back down in there, and we use our handy screwdriver just to make sure that all the nooks and crannies on the inside of the finger get onto the wire and connect with the actual paper stock. Back over, and yeah, that looks like a good finger, okay? Get really nice and tidy down this line here. And we can turn this over to inspect it. That looks like it's a good finger seal. It's going to look like this, everybody. I am going to actually do one so that you can actually see me doing this jig here, just so that I can have this on camera. Okay, so again, just take this and take our screwdriver and go right down the middle of this wooden jig that we made. That's exactly what we want to do. If you've made this one here, and we're going to take our wire piece and fit it right down the middle here using our fingernails or our handy screwdriver, making sure it kind of stays kaput, using our hot glue gun and putting it right on top of the wire. Use the nose to feel that the wire is being pushed down into the crevice there. And then once we know we feel good there, we can go ahead and roll this back over and then keep it right kind of inside the groove, and take our handy screwdriver and just push right inside the groove to make sure that we got a good finger seal on that. And turn that back over, and that looks good. I just wanted to show you using this homemade jig that we used. Cut off a little bit of wire, but that's okay. The fingers are still long enough. And we're going to use our scissors to cut down right in the middle. That got a good finger seal. That's us using the jig with pennies as spacers. By the way, after you've cut this part of the access finger cover off, you're going to have this kind of flash or like this hangover right here. What you can do is take a fingernail and just go ahead and just scratch right along the extra hangover and kind of make it disappear into the finger itself. You want to do that, just kind of adds a little bit more roundness to the finger rather than having this really hard edge that we just cut off. Use your thumb, fingernail, and just kind of scrape that out. Okay? Just a little tidbit for you. I went ahead and added a little bit more color in there, like orange dried up Sharpie, so we could actually see the square. I did it on the inside with the graphics because the graphics are going to be what's glued on around the hand itself. Grab this hand and grab this one. This is going to be the right hand. Concentrate on the little square that we've made. It says hand right in the little square. And this is going to be the right hand. This is going to be the left hand. So we've got right and then left. I know this is going to be right because this little tag is going towards the right. This is going to be the left because this tab is going. And believe it or not, look at this arrow. An arrow going left. I got lucky on that one. Anyway, the thumb's going to be going into this little blobby mass right here and this cluster of knuckle wires right here. It's going to go right into the middle of right here. But I'm going to go ahead and put a half trigger pump of glue right on top of that square. We're going to be putting the wiry knuckle mass right there. And I'm going to be putting a small dollop of glue right here on this blob of the thumb. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this on over, just like that. Pay attention to these fingers and make sure that these fingers are nice and spaced out. And I'm going to be rolling this all the way over. And this mass right here is going to be this top part of the hand on the inside. And now that I have all the fingers situated, take our trusty screwdriver and get this ready. Right in these inner knuckles, I'm going to be putting glue right on these inner parts of these knuckles. This skin mass is going to fold right over the knuckles, right along here. Bring our parchment paper down here on the seam. Let's put this onto the table here and use the cross points to make knuckles while that's drying. We're using the cross points of our screwdriver. Basically, it's the head. And so check it out. We've got this one last final flap. It's going to flap over and become this part right here. Check it out. We're going to go ahead and push into this flap here, push into the wrist here, and cause this to become a thumb flap. That's the official medical term. It's called a thumb flat. Right, doctors? We've got a hand, everybody. Now, we need to cut our fingers down to size. I have a diagram here. You should have one in your PDF downloads. I'm going to place it right on top following this diagram. So the red is basically this right here. Part right here is this red. I'm placing it on top exactly where the red is, and see where these finger markings are left off. I'm going to clip where I feel that each finger needs to be clipped off. I'm even overshooting it just to make sure. That I get the sizing right. I have got a hand. Now, these fingers are looking a little bit too long, so now I'm just gonna kind of like fine-tune the cutting Just fine tune it, everybody. And I'm talking about seriously millimeters, man. These are just millimeters being cut off. And even this thumb needs to be trimmed off like a millimeter. Alright, check it out. We've got a hand. We can totally rock out now. Or we can just say, hey authority, we don't like you. Okay, it's a family show. Okay. I'm gonna do the other hands. You've got a hand. Give yourself a hand. Alright, let's keep moving.